as the distinguished speakers for the opening ceremony enter the hall and come to the stage, please. I think it should be okay if we can give them a round of applause and welcome them into the hall. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. As you take your seats and we get ready for the official start of this event, just a few housekeeping announcements before the official start, please. May I mention that the locations of the restrooms are at the back of this hall. When you get out, immediately when you turn left, that will be the ladies' restroom. And when you turn right, my right, that will be the gentleman's restroom. May I also mention that interpretation devices are available for the 6 official languages of the United Nations, and that you can find at the very back next to the interpreters' booths. Please, may I beg everyone to kindly switch off your cell phones, your mobile phones, or just put them on silent or vibrate. I would also like to mention that we have coffee and snacks available in the middle of the exhibition area next door on my left. Finally, before we get into the official ceremonies, let me just give some good news that at 7 p.m. this evening, all of us, participants and invited guests, are invited to dinner at 7 p.m. This will be taking place at the Reem Al Bawadi restaurant on Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Boulevard in downtown Dubai. You don't have to worry about transportation. Buses will be provided from this venue on the left side entrance, the exhibition entrance. They will take you there to the dinner and take you back to your hotels. We thank you very, very much for your time and for your indulgence. Excellencies, Your Majesty Queen Noor Al Hussein of Jordan, distinguished ladies, dignitaries at the high table and in the audience, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure now to welcome you very warmly to the Dubai World Trade Center for this high-level opening ceremony of the 2016 Global South-South Development Expo, which we are about to start. Before we go ahead, I think it will be proper for me to please ask all of you to thank the government and the people of the United Arab Emirates, represented by the Zayed International Foundation, for being the great host of this week-long event. Would you please give a round of applause as we thank them for hosting us. My name is Ben Dotse Malo. I'm from UN Radio at UN headquarters in New York. I'm glad to serve you this morning as the MC for this event. Why are we here today, distinguished excellencies, ladies and gentlemen? We are gathered under the theme South-South Cooperation, enhancing innovation towards achieving the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Today, we are having this opportunity to show how sharing and exchanging of enhanced innovative solutions among nations of the Southern Hemisphere can boost those efforts towards the implementation and achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. How can we have tried and tested solutions in energy security or energy sufficiency from the United Arab Emirates, for example, to be used or applied by other southern nations? What about food security? Is there a solution pioneered by Brazil or by China that can be replicated in other nations of the global south? Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, these and other questions related to innovation, South-South cooperation, and the Sustainable Development Goals will be addressed at this 2016 Development Expo. It is now my singular honor, distinguished guests, excellencies, to welcome to the podium and invite to the podium the UN Secretary General's Envoy on South-South Cooperation and Director of the UN Office for South-South Cooperation. It is now my singular honor, distinguished guests, excellencies, to welcome to the podium and invite to the podium the UN Secretary General's Envoy on South-South Cooperation and Director of the UN Office for South-South Cooperation, Mr. Jorge Chedik, to give his introductory and welcome remarks. Please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Jorge Chedik.
Your Majesty, Queen Noor Al Hussein of Jordan, Mr. Patrice Gomez, Secretary General of the African, Caribbean, and Pacific Group of States, Mr. Tegenekpur Getu, Under Secretary General of the United Nations and Associate Administrator of the United Nations Development Program, Ambassador Gyan Chandra Acharya, Under Secretary General and High Representative of the least developed countries, landlocked developing countries, and small island development states. Mr. Getachew Nguida, Deputy Director General of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. Mr. Ibrahim Tiao, Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations and Deputy Executive Director of the UN Environmental Program. Mr. Doug Franz, Deputy Secretary General of the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. Your Excellency, Ambassador Mohamed Dudu, Law Director General of Economic Affairs of the Organization of Islamic Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable guests, it is a great honor and privilege to welcome you to the United Nations Global South-South Development Expo 2016. The United Nations Office for South-South Cooperation is privileged to serve as the organizer and secretariat for this expo. We're extremely grateful to the Sayed Foundation for the Environment, on behalf of the government of the United Arab Emirates, for so generously hosting us and for providing us for such a welcoming environment and excellent facilities here in Dubai. I extend my special gratitude to the chairman of the foundation and to Dr. Alawar, Secretary General of the Sayed Foundation, who has worked tirelessly with our team over the last months to make possible for us to be here. 38 years ago in Buenos Aires in 1978, member states entrusted the United Nations to support technical cooperation among developing countries. This year, member states have called for the commemoration of this event, BAPA Plus 40 in 2018, where we will focus South-South efforts towards achievement of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. This expo is a collective response to member states' demand for all partners to engage in and support South-South and triangular cooperation towards achieving the internationally agreed development goals, including the Sustainable Development Goals. Since we launched the Expo in 2008, together with the UN Development Program in New York, this Expo has grown to become a global and United Nations system-wide platform. For this, we have established partnerships with the World Bank, the ILO, the FAO, UNIDO, UNEP, and the Organization of American States for hosting annual expos, drawing attention to South-South successes and challenges within their respective focus areas. This expo has proved effective in bringing together development partners to establish new modalities of collaboration, South-South, North-South, and triangular, and also public-private partnerships. And this year, for the first time, the expo is being hosted by a country of the South. So therefore, I want to reiterate our gratitude to the United Arab Emirates, to the Sayed Foundation, and to Dubai for having us here. We are indebted to the 20 UN sister organizations that are participating, to more 90 member states that are represented here, 19 different nationalities, private sector CEOs, director generals of cooperation in many countries, civil society organizations, academia, and media, over more than 650 participants. With your support, I'm confident that this week's Expo will once again prove to be a fruitful platform for showcasing development solutions, building bridges, and forging innovative partnerships around providing solutions to sustainable development challenges. There are several instances during the conference where this can be possible, different instances of which we count on the participation of all of us. Dear participants, South-South cooperation, which began many years ago mostly as a political intentional commitment, has become now a real tool, a real instrument to build a better world we all need. We hope that this Expo will be another milestone in this expansion of this cooperation modality in which developing countries forge partnerships to build futures and learn from examples such as the one of Dubai and other successful countries in the South, so we can all build the world that we need for us and for our children. Thank you very much.